That's a great way to start. I agree. And it matches my crown and my eyeballs. You can't look. Why did I do all this? And you can't see it because my whatever. It's there. Okay. There's been visual video proof. Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Table Talks with me. I'm a mermaid princess today. The human API from SecureNation. Today we also have Bert Robert. It's a full house. Bert Robertson from Ethopass here, and we're going to talk about, is multi-factor authentication as good as it gets? Joining me as always is Will McCullen, the program director for the IT Center of Excellence at PIMA Community College in Tucson, Arizona, which we will be at next week. Oh my gosh, you guys! If you have not signed up for because the sign up's going to be a little different this time around, ping me. I will also put linky things places. There will be posts. Go find, ask questions. We had to do it that way just because Alyssa Knight is being so very awesome and bringing her entire production crew to Tucson. Incredible. Of her own volition and kindness and good-heartedness. And because I was like, we're going to do this thing. She was like, who's going to record it? And I was like, I was just going to bring a laptop. And she was like, and we have an additional special guest today. I'm so excited. Thank you very much. One of my favorite hackers, Cytisis Eurydice, also volunteers with me over at the Innocent Lives Foundation. And what is do you have a title thingy? You do stuff, right? Like people.
I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which stuff are we talking about right now? Also,
the day job.
I work in threat intelligence.
There you go. Thank you. I was like, I don't know. Scary. I'm going to go with scary.
Yeah, darknet stuff.
Yes. Ooh, that is scary.
I know.
I mean, not to me.
It is. I couldn't, you know what? Sigh and I wanted to do the live stream together and be dressed up because we like Halloweenies. And if you haven't seen my profile picture, it's epic, and Sigh created it.
I did.
It's awesome.
We have an ongoing art fundraiser for ILF right now where I will make icons, among other things. So you should check that out too.
So I've been hanging out with Bert for a while now. Bert, how long have we been hanging out together? Since the beginning of the year, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while now.
It has. Also came with us to Miami when we did the Bad Axe benefit.
That was so much fun.
That was so fun. It was awesome. It was really hot and sticky because Miami in August. I'm not sure if anyone has ever looked at a map and seen where Miami is, but apparently I did not when I was like, let's do something in August.
It's on the sun.
It is. It is directly on the surface of the sun. And I live in South Louisiana, so if I'm still uncomfortable, that's saying something. Okay, it's super hot. It was like 8th circle of Hades. So bad.
Well, I really hope that one happens again. The Bad Axe event needs to happen again.
You know what? It can. Any place that they're that you know of a one of those axe throwing like ranges. Dude, you can
invite me. I just want to throw sharp things. I have swords. I'll bring my own sharp things. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, why not? So whenever we were putting this coffee table together, I was like, Bert, we need to talk about multi-factor authentication. One, the first issue is getting everyone to turn it on. Two, they make it so like if you just average Joe person, like I'm not talking about enterprise level, organizational level, everybody use multi-factor, right? I'm talking about like general public. I have this app that I also connect payment information into, and it's easier to connect your payment information into it than it is to sometimes find where the option to turn on multi-factor is. So we understand. We know why you're not doing it. It's because it's hard. But we're here to help you.
But I would bet money that people the general populace actually do use multi-factor somewhere. And they just don't know that's what it is.
Yeah. So
it's them having to actually go find it, seek it out to actually make themselves more secure than it being just by default.
Well, you have like anyone who doesn't shop on Amazon, congratulations, because you're special now. But if you have, most likely you at some point turned on multi-factor because it's pretty easily pushed. They expect you to have your phone number, your OTP if you're allowed to get to this browser. So a lot of people probably already have multi-factor somewhere. It just became seamless when they started using it that they don't even realize that's what it is.
It has, and then again, it's still clunky in a lot of places. Like I help family members often find it, turn it on, discover how it works. That's too deep, but just at least turn it on, and then high level explain it. So
quick question.
Yeah.
We didn't hear the tagline.
Oh, God, get your cup and circle up.
I'll have a cup.
Can we start now?
We can start now. So
you know what? I designed the coffee logo thing for the stickers and the coffee cups, and I don't have one of them, and I need to go buy one of my own shop so that I can have one when I come on here because I'm on the show so often.
You are. I'm such a jerk. You know what it was? I was like, I will never give anybody her address. So why would they give me
if I invited people from my job to come watch this, and they'll know that it has become a competition for some people at my job to figure out where I live, let alone HR, until I got yelled at.
Right.
So accurate.
So here's my how Rachel got a dark web mysticist to give up their physical address. I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, my P.O. box. This is why we have P.O. boxes.
I will. I'll send you a sticker. So let's, just in case, I know most people that hang out with us and stuff are already in InfoSec, right? One way or another, or, interested in it. But for the people that may not understand what multi-factor authentication is, who wants to take it? Will, Bert, Sigh?
Bert's the expert here.
I know.
I'm just here to break stuff.
Bert's the expert on why it sucks, but
well, let me count the ways. But basically, multi-factor authentication is just two modes of identifying a person, whether that be with a username and password, and then some type of second factor. So the multi aspect of it, then going from there, it could be SMS text, it could be a push notification, it could be a bunch of different things, biometrics, you name it. But that is multi-factor authentication, two means of building an authorization package to get you into an account.
Does it have to be only two means?
I think it just depends on the organization and how deep and how in depth they want to go and how clunky they want to make you getting into your account. So
what about
for more secure accounts? Obviously going multiple levels deep, it makes sense.
So how about key fobs and all the things like UV keys and
the standard definition that we give in classes is that the factors are either something that you know, like your username or password, something that you have, whether it be a phone or whether it be a fob or a key, or something that you do, or something that you are, like anything involved with biometrics.
Or a spider.
Right? Okay, so that's the thing, right? All right. So why is it a good idea to turn that on? That'll be my next question. Why should everybody and their mother put that on every account ever? It doesn't matter if it's just your Pinterest.
Well, usernames and passwords have been broken multiple times over. Most people reuse passwords across multiple accounts. And when you have data breaches with millions and millions and even billions and billions of credentials being stolen, then those attackers can then use it to get into your other accounts. Using multi-factor authentication makes it just one step harder for them to be able to compromise those accounts. So they would not only have to compromise that first factor, they would have to compromise that second factor as well to be able to get into those accounts.
Hey, I see a very important question. Sorry. Adam Zook asks, do spiders need 8-factor authentication? And yes. Correct.
That's awesome. Correct. Yes.
It was an important question. I had to answer it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty locked down and solid. How
8 factors.
Why is that not working? Other than the fact that people just don't turn it on, or they can't be bothered by it. So why should we need anything better than that? Isn't that as good as it gets?
It's not as good as it gets, but a lot of times it's the only thing you have in a service or an account. So it's kind of the bare minimum that a business can do today to hopefully protect the users. So the biggest threat to that I see is humans, people. If it's an SMS code, they've been phished, you name it, to give up those codes. And also they're portable, so they can be used anywhere. So if you have a username and password plus multi-factor authentication, they can be used on any computer, typically anywhere in the world. So the portability aspect of those makes it difficult to secure as well. But is multi-factor, if it's the only thing you have, it's still a must do.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why, current administrative governmental bodies are pushing for it. In general, they're like, hey, this is a good idea and you should do it too.
It's really the bare minimum today. I mean, it's the bare minimum that you can do as an organization to hopefully protect its users.
Well, also be careful too of some of these sort of pseudo multi-factor. I'd call it pseudo, right? When you are logging, how many folks across this country log into their bank, right? They set up their bank account and they develop all their nice questions, and then when they log in, they get a cryptographic key in the form of a cookie placed on their machine, right? And so then they use that same machine for months and months and months and no problems. And now they're in a situation where they're almost a lot more dangerous, because if all of a sudden they can't get in and somebody starts asking the questions and gets their answers, it gets ugly, right? So you need to be careful with some of those items too.
Yeah. You mean like all those questions that you get asked on Facebook and people willingly give up all the time?
Yeah.
This is why I was laughing.
I saw one the other day that was like, tell me your grandma's name or maiden name or something. And it was like, my friend is looking for new baby names. And I was like, don't do it. And then like 700 comments under it. I was like,
oh my gosh.
So
not to mention ancestry.
Yeah. So here's the other problem with that, like especially Facebook, and I try to stop this as much as possible, but like it gets overwhelming. So I need help. Okay, if you guys have hung up your Facebook accounts because you're like, F Facebook, I get it, but I stay there because that's where the people are in the most danger of themselves. I do that, and my family really likes to see pictures of my kids. So anyway,
don't post pictures of your children. That's
yes. Do not post pictures of your children.
I know. Okay.
Rachel.
All right. But look, so the problem is, right? It wasn't even just like from a multi-factor authentication standpoint that I was terrified that people were sharing their grandmother's first names, but you can see all their friends lists, right? And then now you know which one of those friends is Grandma Myra, right? And now I know exactly who is their granddaughter or son that they may love oodles and caboodles. And I can definitely call and be like, Grandma, I need money. Can you wire it to this account immediately? Help me. And I have all this Facebook fodder to convince her of who I am.
So have I ever told you guys my favorite social engineering hack that is also really sad? And it has to do exactly with this. So there were a few years ago, and it's probably still going on, but maybe slowed down a little bit from COVID. There were the social engineering attacks going on where someone would call an individual who was here on a visa for school, an education visa, and tell them that they were in trouble with law enforcement in their home country and that they were not allowed to take any phone calls there, communicate with the police in America, communicate with any relatives abroad, etc. They were to go on a total lockdown, and they were just to stay there and not communicate for X amount of days. Meanwhile, and not to answer the phones or anything. And so meanwhile, the bad actors would then call their families and say, hey, this individual has been kidnapped. We have them. We are going to give them back to you or return them to you in good health if you can pay up this ransom. And they would have, in some cases, a recording of this person's voice. In some cases, they would have a just evidence of saying, if you don't believe us, you can try to contact them. You will not be able to reach them. No one will be able to reach them. And this person, fearful for their family's safety in their home country, would do nothing. They wouldn't answer phones. They wouldn't do anything. They would put themselves in total lockdown. And so they were able to extort a lot of money out of the families in the home country. Another version of this social engineering attack was when people would get enough information from social media about like grandparents, mothers, fathers, etc. They would do something similar. It could be usually it happened to people who are in their early to mid 20s or late teenagers. They may have, it could be either a local citizen or somebody who's on a visa, and they would contact their family here saying that they've kidnapped this person, give all of these details from social media about where they go to school, where they go to work, how much they make, what they were seen last doing, their favorite drink from Starbucks, their best friend, anything, and convince these family members that they had to pay up. And so they would go and they'd get those gift cards and drop them off or whatever. And in a lot of cases, you'll find that these people were actually following them via a car while they were making these people drive around. So they could give very direct directions to go to certain places, to pick up this here and then go over here and drop it off, et cetera, et cetera. And they would have recordings of the people of a similar voice type screaming in pain, so that if somebody tried not to do it, they would elicit more interaction by playing the screaming sound in the background, because you're not actually trying to hear if it sounds like someone you care about. Now you're freaking out. The adrenaline's pumping. You're hearing a similar vocal scream and you're freaking out. So you're going to take the action. One case of this, a grandmother was able to not fall in completely for this because their grandchild called them while the other person was saying they had that grandchild kidnapped. It was just a coincidence that they were able to not get all of this woman's money. That is one of my favorite social engineering attacks, but we're not supposed to be talking about social engineering today. So I kind of took this and ran.
But it goes back to authentication, because there's whenever it falls back, if everything's broken, you can't find your username and password, it falls back to those questions. And those questions are ones that you see on Facebook all the time.
Oh, yeah.
What was the name of your first car? It seems like such an easy thing, but then everybody doesn't think, oh, wow, I've actually used that answer to get into accounts before or to start my accounts before. And then it's an easy way for an attacker to then be able to, build an attack for that person. So, it does relate.
Yeah, and those questions are ridiculous. Sorry, Will. I hate those questions. When you mentioned them, I started laughing because I'm like, oh no. Easy to
It's okay. If anybody was not currently in the Halloween spirit, I hope you're scared to death now.
That's my job. I'm here to get you scared.
Well, the
worked.
Peter brought up probably one of the better ways to handle those kind of things. Peter Gregory put earlier that professionals use fictitious answers to those questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a password in each one of those questions. Right.
Yeah.
And thanks for password managers and things like that, where you can then also put in the answers to those questions in along with your password in the manager. Right. So that's when you don't have to answer those questions at face value.
I have one better for you, Will. I just lie about everything. I'm just super suspicious. Nothing's ever true.
Now, we talked about that.
So how am I going to believe you about that?
Correct response.
We talked about that a couple of episodes back with George Finney whenever he was covering the 9 habits of stuff. Anyway, George Finney's book, go check it out. And the last one was deception and how we should all be utilizing deception, right? Like,
Please.
just because it says, put your name here and your email here and this, that, and the other, that does not mean you have to put your real stuff, okay? Like, we set up an Eventbrite for like the 1 year event, and I've set up Eventbrites before. I'm sure most of you have or have at least, filled one out. And I tell people, you don't have to put your real stuff there. And I go down through the list, and so far everybody has checked out. It's all legit. It's all legit information. You guys don't have to put that there. Like, as long as
in that defense, for Everbright, sometimes they do actually have a clause where it has to be legitimate because you will get like ID'd or something for in-person events. So
right, but
they might not read yours. They may not have read yours. They might just think that's a policy of Everbright.
Yeah,
but also lie anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, try it. Try lying. There are perimeters that I can set in Eventbrite as an event coordinator for virtual stuff, where I can say, I don't want a bunch of junk emails in there and stuff like that, which is, that's sometimes there's a lot of reasons why event coordinators they want the legit, they want to know you're a real person kind of thing.
Yeah.
I see.
And you can always get an ID with, your name is, capital A, 0, lowercase j, apostrophe, and into whatever. So just get a fake ID with that as your name, and here you go. Oh, that is you.
I have my friend here. Can I get him out of here more? This is Jerry.
What's Jerry?
This is Jerry. My friend Jerry. And all his information goes for everything. Everything goes to Jerry.
I like it.
Among my 17 other personas. But, Jerry.
James asked an interesting question. He said, why are we worrying about people willingly sacrifice their personal info for convenience? Well, it's because we're here to help. That's why, that's why these things, the coffee table talks happen. So people learn.
A lot of that, so if somebody knows already that they shouldn't do something, I don't know that I have much sympathy for you. But the people who just don't get it and don't know, and unfortunately, there's still a lot of them even today, even though this has been around forever, especially because, and I've brought this up on the coffee table talks before, where I'm like, we need to be doing cyber education in elementary school, like very basic intro to cyber education, passwords, MFA, like the basics. Don't post those pictures online. Everyone's going to see everything forever. Tell your mom, Rachel, to stop posting pictures of you online.
No, I tell her to at least try to limit the privacy.
Yeah.
Right.
And
anybody can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, a lot of people just don't know. And if you're not going to a certain extent, they're not willingly and knowingly putting that stuff out there if they just don't know. And I see his response is whatever happened to being self-responsibility. If the information wasn't presented to you at any point, to the point that you don't even know it's there's an argument in both directions as to whether or not there is any self-responsibility. Because yes, to a certain extent, you could be like, is this the safest thing I could do? Let me go look it up. But there's also the possibility that question never crosses your mind because the topic's never even brought up. Is it easy to really say that's going to happen? That most people aren't going to see that topic somewhere? I mean, my grandma, who has a Facebook, isn't going to see that topic unless I tell her that's a topic. But if somebody my age or younger goes online, they probably have heard it, even in elementary school. So I don't know why we're not teaching it.
Yeah.
I love Rebecca's response here. No, officer. Bert with security said this is what to do.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't work from Bert, it double pressed for me because I just say lie to everything.
Yeah, please. Yeah, use me. Just let them know what Bert said.
I like this one. She's full of them today. I'm so glad. Hey, Rebecca. Hi everybody hanging out. You guys are chatty. Like I can't even keep up. Will and Bert and Sigh are like, this person said this, and I'm like trying to scroll up to find it. And
well, I'm a spider. I have 8 eyes, so it's a lot easier for me.
there you go. By the way, for the 1-year anniversary, I would like to make a special announcement. I will be taking anyone who wants to volunteer to help moderate or do production things on this platform. Okay, we will be doing that. You should be pinging me. I just need somebody to
I mean,
look, you can be like, and I figured it out because I've been on so many other, folks' shows, and there's these people that are hanging out in the background, and I'm like, you have people? How did you get people?
Usually me when it's any of the other stuff. It's usually me.
So if you want somebody to come and they can slap down that they were production crew on their resume somewhere.
Extra points to John Montgomery's daughter.
Oh, nice.
Of course, they won't be using their real ID, so it won't help for us to give the creds,
Yeah. So multi-factor sucks or is great? What do we think?
Context needed.
Yeah. I think we need more of that, right? So it's not fun to use, of course. It's kind of the bare minimum that you can do to protect your account these days. I think that there's a lot of great stuff that is coming down the pipeline because this is we're at a time from an authentication standpoint where everybody's just really fed up with all the breaches, all the things, all the low tech attacks that actually happen. So now it's time to, you're seeing a lot more innovation in the space. People are thinking about it more, rather than just, hey, here's multi-factor authentication. That's the best we can do.
So that's fun. 2 things on that. One, have you guys ever worn sandals and then for like a month and then had to go back to tying your shoes because you were wearing boots or sneakers again?
I don't tie them. I just put them on and fold down the Healy thing in the back and step all over
because it's annoying to have to get back in that habit, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually started tying your shoes, it would just become like habit and it would be in the back of your brain and you wouldn't have anything to think about, right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah, that's what MFA is. When you guys say it's not fun, I'm like, I don't even notice it anymore. I have it on literally everything I own.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That I just don't notice it anymore. So it's like it's tying my shoes.
Yeah, you don't notice it until you lose your phone.
If you connect it to your phone. But I think we need to really, sorry, Rachel, but we really need to stop saying it's not fun because that's just giving people the wrong idea. They're like, I don't want to do it if it's not fun.
Yeah. And they talked about that last night on the shit show with Chris Robertson and Evan Francine and Ryan Cloutier. They were like, we need better PR marketing, right? That we're all doomsday. Like, you need to have cybersecurity in your life because all of boom and all these things are going to happen and they're horrible and scary and dangerous. And instead we need to be like, this is so cool. All your friends are doing it, right? Like we need to do it like that.
Fear is, we need more carrots and less sticks.
So that's where we need to make the whole authentication process a lot easier, right, Bert?
Yeah, Bert.
You're getting there.
Bring Bert back in.
I'm just shameless Ethopass plug. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. No, there's like I said, there's innovation that's out there. There's things that are coming out that will make it easier than using multi-factor authentication with a secondary device or a secondary medium, or having to wait for a code to come through or find your authenticator app or whatever it may be. There are things out there that are making it a lot easier to get into your accounts. I think everything, most things today still have flaws, but it's getting better. I think in 5 years, passwords will most likely be gone, except for maybe on, just your kind of mom and pop blog site. But it's getting there. We're I think as a industry, it's getting very, very close to having some really good methods that don't require you to carry something with you. They don't require you to wait for some type of OTP or anything like that.
So
Not shameless.
for the
not a
wait.
Oh.
For the general audience, could you describe what that is? What
Yeah.
that looks like in real life, what that is day by day?
As far as some of the stuff that's coming out?
Yeah, the solutions that you're talking about.
Sure. So, we can talk about Ethopass real quick. Ethopass, we do everything on a singular device. So we have a 2-key solution that allows the user to use one device, and everything is done on that local particular device. And so you don't have to carry, I don't have to use my phone. So it's a 2-key solution that replaces the first factor, and I don't have to carry this around anymore to be able to get into my accounts. So there's also, a lot of other passwordless things that are coming out here in the future and some that are out there today. Some use biometrics. There's things that are happening that businesses can start to utilize. They're just really slow on making adjustments. I mean, gosh, some today, are just starting to enable multi-factor authentication. I have a friend that works for a company down in South Florida, and they just got ransomware recently. And I was like, wow, how did they get in? Well, they got phished. Okay, did you have multi-factor authentication on? No. If you look at Colonial Pipeline hack, that was a credential stuffing attack, and they didn't have multi-factor authentication. I was like I said, it's kind of the bare minimum you can do today to protect yourself.
I agree. So how is Ethopass different? Because I know how it's different, but not everybody else. Well, kind of. Even then, I have to bring you in keys because I'm like, you said crypto way too many times.
Well, I mean, without showing it, it's a little, it's not as easy to explain. But basically, you use a web extension, and it's something that and something that you have. Those are the 2 key pieces. So we use a forward passphrase as an encrypt decrypt for your cryptographic memory store on your local device, so that passphrase isn't stored anywhere else. It's only on that local device. And then you use asymmetric key pairs to prove your identity with the service.
So,
all done on one device.
Or multiple, you said, right?
We do have some things coming out in the future that will be able to do that as well. Yes.
So did you get a chance to play yet? No, probably not.
No,
not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
No, we just talked to Simon.
I want to.
No, we'll get there.
I'm so excited.
You'll get to play and let us know what we need to do.
My favorite part is the fact that there are some things that have been mentioned when we talked on Tuesday that are parallel to what's happening with some cryptocurrencies and darknet forums, and that is hilarious to me. I love that. It's so funny.
Like what?
That so some of the key phrases that you had mentioned, I don't remember if you just mentioned them right now or if Tuesday's bleeding into my brain. It happens. That same thing is happening with some crypto wallets. That's a form of encryption, so that you have to have that key phrase that you will have to authenticate, as well as passwords, as well as whatever else. And some marketplaces are adopting that too, which honestly, and I've mentioned this before, if anyone has listened to me for more than 2 seconds, it's at least not as bad as Dread, as CAPTCHA on Dread. Anyone who has not been on Dread, I have images. Just tag me anywhere and I will talk about it. Dread has gorgeous CAPTCHAs, and the website's great. Sometimes they change the way to get in, and it's impossible to the point they have to change it again. So literally anything's better than that. But this is pretty fun, and it's interesting to me to see it popping up as something being used on different dark webs, as well as in some tools, and probably in slightly different ways, but in some tools that hopefully more people get to check out and play with soon.
So if you stare,
mostly me.
if you go into your bathroom and you look in the mirror and you say darknet, 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 and turn the lights off, Sigh will appear.
Yeah, literally, you'll just see me. I'll be like, hi. If I'm busy with somebody else, you'll see Gengar. So
It talks.
it does talk. It does talk, yes. This is my new streaming buddy, so I figured he belongs here. Today's his debut.
That's awesome. So I do want to ask you, Bert, because I don't think I actually ever have. And you told me once a story about your spouse and how she was part of the inspiration for starting. Okay, never mind.
I'm pretty sure she's watching this, so yeah,
well,
I might get in trouble. No, I'm just joking. No, we make fun.
All the more reason to say.
Yeah, so jokingly, we used to call when we first started Ethopass Project Megan, my wife. She's awesome. She's probably watching right now. So with her, she was not using a password manager. She was trying to utilize passwords different passwords on as many accounts as she possibly could. Obviously, couldn't remember any of them, but it was interesting because it actually made her safe, because every time she would go to authenticate into an account, she would basically have to use forgot password every single time and then reset a new password. So that was when we knew we needed to start moving towards getting rid of these passwords, or just having one that kind of rules them all type of thing. But it was quite funny. We joke about it quite often. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Project Megan.
So you guys are I've introduced you to a couple of friends, and you guys are going back and forth over some things, and we're trying to let awesome, very I don't know, right? Bad, good hacker sigh. Like I can't wait to see, and that's what I do a lot. Like, right, is I'll take a new piece of technology or a concept or something, and then I'll pass it around to some InfoSec buddies that really get excited to break stuff, and then they see if they break it. And that's kind of
I'm a big fan of breaking things.
Is that where the human API comes in?
Yeah. It is. That's the part.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's a piece of it. That's a piece of it. I actually had somebody in my LinkedIn a couple of days ago that was they were reaching out, and they were like, I'm trying to pivot into cybersecurity and all these things. And I'm like, okay, so where are you at right now? What roles have you applied for? Like, I get all kinds of questions. And then it actually turned out that this person was near another friend of mine, Ian Meyer, who, Will, you remember we met Ian besides Orlando. And anywho, and I was like, you need to reach out to Ian. He's fantastic, knows all the things and all the peoples, and has he'll share events on his Twitter all the time. He's a little more active on Twitter than on LinkedIn. So I think if you type in Ian, EANMEYER, Meyer, into Twitter, it should pop up, and he's super great. A huge proponent of the Diana Initiative and Tabitha D'Amico out there. So go find these people. They're awesome. But yeah, other than that, I definitely enjoy helping, folks like Bert and Ethopass in a weird way. Like, here, give me that. That looks really shiny here. And then I pass it to a friend.
Let me destroy it.
I'm like, break it. Please break it.
Gimme.
If you can. But so far, everybody else that has had their hands on it, it's tough. It's hard. They're not breaking anything. And Bert's really
not yet.
Awesome. Yeah.
Not yet. But I will say, and one of our mottos here at Ethopass is everything can and will be broken. It's not a matter of if, but when. If it was built by people, it can be broken. So it'll eventually happen. It's how, the biggest part with us is how do you recover from that? How do you recover, from that, inevitable breach, things like that. So. Right.
But better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? Like, it's better to have a friend go, hey, I broke your thing.
Right.
And this is how I broke it and why and all these things. And here are some ideas of how, and that's the collaborative.
And here's how fun it was.
That's what I really like.
That allows you to security harden. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which just brings together the whole point that we need in IT is being able to do that sharing among professionals, being able to get that communication going back and forth between people, and then really dealing with our adversaries that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that brings up a good point. Is I'm pretty sure every breach over the last year has been by some type of APT. It's not a nation state breaking into every single one of these accounts. Like, why won't businesses just be accountable and say, hey, this is what happened. We messed up. and share so people can learn.
That's really, so this is something I really have a lot of interest in. I recently changed fields like a year ago. And I was working right before the pandemic, I was working under pharmaceuticals, and now I don't anymore. So got out of that, but before all the craziness. But it's really interesting to see how companies interact with breaches. First off, side note, if anybody's seen my Twitter account, I have a motion to change this from Cybersecurity Awareness Month to Breach Announcement Month. BAM is a way better acronym, and please don't use the acronym CSAM because that's not what it means. It's not what it means.
No.
It does not mean Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and you really don't want to push that out any further.
No.
But anyway, BAM, way better. But anyway, it is interesting. One of the areas I have a lot of interest in is how people and entities think and try to spin information and data. And some companies will come out and say, we got hacked and we're not going to, or we got ransomware, we're not paying the ransom. We don't care what's going to happen. We're not going to pay it. And that choice comes down partially to how long does it take to recover? How much is it going to be? But also, how is the public going to react to our reaction to this? First off, how long do we have till we announce this publicly? How long? What does that mean if we extend it as long as possible versus just come out and admit to it early on? And a lot of this has to do with market value of a company, stock prices, if they're retail, how well do they think they're going to be able to sell products? And I think one of the best ways to get companies to own up to some of these faster is to get the public behind identifying that as a good thing, because it's spun in such a negative light right now, especially in the media, that if we get it that companies say, yes, it's bad that we got breached, but we are going to be upfront and open about it, and we are taking steps to do X, Y, Z, we could, and people like the consumers see that as a good and positive thing, that it could even, instead of tanking a stock, maybe it only goes down half of what it could have gone before or something like that. We see an actual shift in consumer interaction with that data. We could see companies coming forward with it faster. Right now, a lot of companies seem to be on edge because they're just expecting that they're going to not only lose whatever they've lost in this breach, but their consumers, their customers, their stockholders, etc.
Yeah. Well, and that's, how it relates back to the business as a function.
Yeah.
Thing, right? Those are all very good points. By the way, I'm going to create a list of shame for the hashtag CSAM people that are using it.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, guys, stop. If anybody is wondering why we're pushing so hard for you to stop using that acronym, by all means ask. I will explain it to you. You won't like it if you don't know already, but I'll explain it. But
it's so bad.
Please, and also tell all of your employers and employees not to use it. Please, for the love of all things in the ether, stop.
Yeah. And it's just rude. You would think before somebody decided to adopt a hashtag that they would, I don't know, maybe do a little research on it before they associated their brand with it.
Unfortunately, a lot of places got reached out to organizations like the ILF, and they were just like, no, it's fine. Not just, and I'm sure other organizations have done it too, but a lot of places were just like, no, it means this, or it's too late, we can't change it, or what have you. And that is just really sad, because I don't think you all want to, anyone who's going around with the hashtag CSAM, I don't think you really want to be grouped together.
I'm just telling you right now, your analytics on the amount of people who have viewed or interacted with your hashtag, I'm seeing like maybe 5 likes and 1 retweet. And let's be honest, that's probably an employee that did that for visibility purposes.
Yeah.
You're not losing much, okay? You can't be losing out on some kind of visibility if you take these posts down, because I know that Twitter won't allow you to edit the post as it is. So just be better. Just be a better person. There was a company a while back that was trying to adopt a new platform, right? Like XDR, MDR, blah, 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 with CSAM. And it was like a cloud security. And oh man, I aggressively through Twitter, I was like, so that's not what that means. Here, follow these people so that you become educated about what you're doing.
Poor Jeff just looked it up. And I'm getting messages of people asking for me to just say it anyway. So I'm going to, and I'm sorry that we've taken over this. Sorry, Bert, Will, bye.
No, it's all good. I feel like it all relates somehow. So
ultimately, yeah, down the rabbit hole we go. So
exactly.
CSAM actually is used in like industry-wide, not the cybersecurity industry, for child sexual abuse materials. That's what that stands for. If you're talking to like government people, if you're talking to nonprofits like ILF and you say CSAM, that's what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which I don't understand why that isn't just CAM, cybersecurity as one word, CAM, which is what I used to call it. And then all of a sudden I see like this year and last year it's CSAM. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why. Probably because CSAM already had more followers on that hashtag.
That's not a good, no. Think about it a little more, people.
I'm just telling you what marketing people do. Okay, this is what they do. And then they make a faux pas, and then they're all like, "It's fine, we didn't mess that up." No, you did, and it's okay. Don't make me make a list. Please don't make me make a list. I don't want to be that person.
Do you remember Windows CE?
Look at her face.
Yeah, it's not. Look, multi-factor is not as good as it gets. We got to get better.
Yeah, right? Yeah, definitely. Multi-factor. Someone earlier put in the chat, multi-factor is an arms race where you keep needing to add more and more to it. And yeah, I mean, that's what all multi-factor is the next iteration of passwords. It's just the next step to it. And so we're circling back around. So it is the arms race. It's all the same thing. We had passwords. Then people use the same password everywhere. And then they get breached and they're like, I only have to change it here. It's fine. And then they use the same password for everything. One gets breached. They don't change it everywhere. Finally, people are like, well, you're not going to do it, so we're going to make you do this. And they add multi-factor. And then all I have to do is call up somebody and say, hi, I'm technical support. I found out that there's a bug on your computer, and I'm trying to help you. Just let me help you log in. Download TeamViewer, and let me see your screen. And look, okay, now I need your password. Okay, fine, great. Now I need that little pin that you have on your computer or that you have on your phone, or I need you to put in your dongle, and then I have access. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, and changed your password real quick, and now you have access.
And your authenticator. And your authenticator. It's not even that hard.
Nope. And it's gone just like that before you even realized it. The folks over at Wiser,
I've done those calls.
Training, the folks over at Wiser Training have several helpful videos that are free for you to share with your friends and family, and they definitely cater to goldfish attention spans. So check them out. They're awesome. Bert?
That just goes back to portability. From a portability aspect, if you can make a means of authentication portable, as in it can be used on another device somehow, it just makes it that much easier for a remote attacker to be able to get into your account.
Did you pay this person?
That's funny. That's Alexis. She actually works at Ethopass.
So yes, the answer to your question, Rachel, is yes, literally.
Yes.
Wait. Did you pay this person?
Which one?
Yeah. The pointing at self.
No.
No. No. And you will never be asked to. So. This is always non-sponsored and always happy just to share helpful information, or what we hope is helpful, even through all of the rabbit holes and things.
Ooh, I have a rant. Thanks to Jeff, I have a rant. Ready? Today's a lot of rants. So soft phones.
You? No.
So fun fact for anybody who works with me, I don't talk much at work on meetings, so this is weird. So authenticators, go to your soft phone. I hate soft phones like Google's, because then they want you to connect all this stuff to it. And if you've got like a persona that needs a phone number because I'm calling bad actors and trying to get them to give me jobs that aren't real, then that can eventually be traced back to your accounts. Even if you remove it after you initially put stuff in, like if you need a real phone number for it to go to. And I hate that. I hate that so much. So I recommend I recommend not using Google soft phones.
Oh no! Oh no! I clicked the wrong button. I'm so sorry.
You threw me away. I was thrown away.
Wow! Did you
I see how you feel. Google, are you in Google's pocket? Because
we're accepting volunteers. Did I mention that? I did. I did mention that.
I love soft phones. I love soft phones. I just don't like ones that make you attach them to real artifacts that can be traced back to you. Even if you can instantly remove it. And even if you can make a chain of them, like have 5 Google soft phones and you connect each of them and then you remove each of them, that still traces back to the one, and that one has your actual information. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
it's my rant for the day.
Harder and harder these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it still is, but you know, we're used to take an old Android and just use that to create a Gmail account, you know, because that was the only way it would just let you in without any phone number. But it just gets worse and worse these days.
Yeah. While we're trying to be more secure, we're also making it easier to track us at the same time. And I don't think that's a perspective that we're actually paying attention to.
That's a balancing act, though, between privacy and security. They're not one and the same at all.
No.
Not even a little. And I know a lot of people choir right now, sorry. But for anyone that might stumble accidentally across this and listen to the whole 53 minutes that we've done.
That totally was on topic the entire time, and it's not my fault.
Yeah, I mean,
on topic.
You're right. I mean, these things need, even with authentication, it doesn't matter really what it is. Businesses have to start allowing users to own and own their information and to be private and not try to get them to click on everything. What's that?
Just go on the dark net.
Just go on the dark net.
I'll be there.
Well, I can't go there. That's scary.
No, it's not.
It's so
Bert,
scary.
you need to watch my previous episodes and any podcast I'm on. No.
We had a fun discussion between the dark web and the clear net. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it is. Somebody asked me to find a Russian sub, and I did, and it wasn't a sandwich. It was a literal Russian sub, and you know where it was? The clear net. All of it. It's not that scary. It's just in dark mode. Switch the browser to light mode if you're afraid. It's fine. It's fine.
Awesome.
Hang on, I'm creating something real quick. Just hold on a second.
I like creations.
Okay.
I like that's fair, but
Wow.
That's fair. However, Rachel, my name on the screen is not that, so still listen to me. Listen to Levy, don't listen to Sigh.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
I don't know that I necessarily recommend you listen to me either, but
it's just
it works for me.
How long does it take for you to admit you made a mistake and then correct it?
Yeah. I always like to admit to that because then you learn something.
It does. See? Learning stuff. That's what we do. So if anybody has any questions about multi-factor authentication, I have a lot of answers and a lot of people that would love to help find you some answers. If you're like questioning multi-factor authentication and you feeling like you want to take that next jump into, I don't know, right? Bert is totally terrifying. Who wants to hang out with Bert? No, everybody wants to hang out with Bert. Everybody wants to hang out with Bert. Why not? Everybody, everywhere. It's a thing, okay? Is it peer pressure? Am I doing social engineering right?
No.
No? Dang. Well, if you want to learn more about Ethopass, though, feel free to ping me or Bert.
And our new website will be up here in about a week and a half, something like that. So, it won't just be the whole page for, Apple developer license. We'll actually, have our full website rollout here coming up soon, which will be fun. Dave Thomas wants us to talk about YubiKeys.
Jesse.
We didn't talk about hardware devices, did we?
We didn't. And I have so many books that if people want to learn how to hack multi-factor, I have book recommendations also.
I mean, everything's on YouTube.
You can watch YouTube, but sometimes the books are better.
Yeah.
So, Bert, did you want to touch on YubiKeys real quick?
Yeah, YubiKeys. So for people that don't know what YubiKeys are, they're basically a hardware device. Will just held one up just a second ago, so you can see it again. Sure, we'll be happy to hold it up again. But basically what it is, yeah, it's a dongle that you plug into your computer to authenticate. You carry it with you. So it is another factor that can be used to get you into your accounts. And, as from a security standpoint, it is more secure than your multi-factor authentication with like SMS or push notifications or things like that, because it's something that you physically have with you at all times. So that
hopefully
is true. I have gone to the office before without it and had to turn around to go home to be able to get into my accounts. So that was not fun. Luckily, I now use, we dog food Ethopass here internally, so I don't have to use it anymore. But at the same time, if you have the ability to use it with some of your accounts, it is probably one of the more secure things that you can do today. So the hard part with it, though, is that especially with hardware keys, FIDO2, and anything like that today, is that they don't solve for a crypto period. Basically, a crypto period is how long the useful life of a key pair is. And what happens is, I think NIST says the lifespan of a crypto period today or asymmetric key pair should be about 2 to 3 years. So you have to replace them constantly. And it is a bear to actually replace YubiKeys or redo your biometrics and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, unless, of course, especially it's a bear. So, Bert, you've been to Tucson in the summer. Tucson dashboards in the summer wipe out everything.
That makes sense. So yeah, the heat just causes them to stop working. Yeah, interesting.
So
I had them on my key ring, and when I would sit down, they would break. So I went through, I think it was 5 in like a year and a half at one point. And so for me, and also just having to carry it around with me all the places, it's a little bit cumbersome, but at the same time, from a security standpoint, it is better than, you're just SMS and those type of multi-factor authentications.
So I have a fun thought problem for you guys. What if you have chipped yourself, and not in the concerning way some people think happens, but like actually just decided to inject yourself with a little chip somewhere in your hand. Hopefully you don't lose your hand when you go to log into anything, didn't get chopped off in your sleep or something. But what are the concerns that you guys might have just thinking about using that chip that may be physically connected to you, unlike having it on like a key ring that maybe you leave at home? And what protections do you think we need to start talking about for doing that as more and more people start deciding they want to have that embedded chip in their limbs somewhere? They want to be a cyborg, basically.
So if you embed a chip and then you have to change out your YubiKey every 2 to 3 years, don't you have to change out your chip? And if you're not changing out the chip, then you're allowing access for it to be altered, which could also be hijacked for not what you intended.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem with the chips in general. And I don't know how they are, the most up-to-date versions are. I don't know how that works enough yet. But that's definitely something where more and more people are trying to utilize those for items. And I'm like, but I have a reader that I just keep in my pocket that I could like shake your hand and just take all your info and then run away.
Sure. Or, I mean, think about it in even a worst case scenario. If you're, say, like a high net worth individual or somebody wants to get into your account, they just take your hand.
Right. That's the other thing. I was like, there is no CEO on the planet that is gonna.
Exactly. Yeah.
That I don't think it's true. There are companies that enforce this, that were starting to try and enforce this as a requirement, which is hilarious.
I feel like I don't like this. No, I don't.
I mean,
But again,
you think about it from a privacy perspective too. What type of privacy does that allow? I don't know the capabilities of the chips, obviously, but at the same time, I'm all about privacy. So, I think that once you start down that path of chipping people, well, not that privacy is, out the window. I mean, we carry these things all the time, right? So
you're already kind of chipped, just so you know.
Well, so
how far do we have to go to stay private when now you're actually putting hardware into your
I'm not talking about, so some people get really concerned about people getting chipped for like work or the government, whatever. I'm talking about specifically this, you just choose to go do it because some people just want to do it. They want to be a cyborg. You know what? Fine. But there was a comment from James in the chat that it's a minor procedure to remove the chip. And I don't know enough about that part to know how bad the scar tissue would build up over time. Would you have to keep moving it around? Would it get interfered? And you can still, you're still going to be able to hack the chip. And what is the range at which you need to be to hack that chip? I don't know. That might depend on the specifications. I think it's fun. Where's the village at DEF CON? I want to go talk to those. Oh, you can hack those though. The medical implants. Sorry, I keep talking to chat. This is what I do all the time. Instead of saying what the question is. What about people with medical implants? If it can get hacked, it's going to get hacked. But what is that range? How close do I need to be? There's some concerns in other countries, like Japan, where you can't be on certain trains and have your cell phone on because there's concern around pacemakers. And so if people are seen with their phone on, especially if somebody has a pacemaker or other medical implant, they can get in a lot of trouble because it's considered very dangerous. So I think it's an interesting conversation. And if we don't have that DEF CON village, I want to help build it. Let's go, because it'll be fun.
Are you going to voluntarily put the chip in to go to the village?
No. But Gengar will. Gengar will get it.
There you go.
So for me, the thing that's scary and why I get so interested whenever I get a chance to meet and converse with people like Bert and the folks over at Ethopass is that, we're all standing on our InfoSec soapboxes going, turn on your MFA, turn on your MFA, turn on your MFA, right? And one of the reasons is, well, it's not 100% going to keep these things from happening, but it keeps you from being the lowest hanging fruit. It's not going to be very long before now, even with MFA, you are still the lowest hanging fruit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're still vulnerable.
Right?
It's the bear scenario, and you and your friend are walking, and bear attacks you. You don't have to outrun the bear; you have to outrun your friend. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how you got to think about security. For people and for businesses, that attackers, they want the low hanging fruit. They don't want to have to work for it. So if they don't have to work for it, well, when you have this person across the street here and this person over here, it's like, well, that person only has username and passwords and that person has multi-factor authentication. Well, that's an easier target over there. So let's make it easy on myself, because it's probably going to be the same outcome.
Well, think about like your grandparents and generations that came before us that talk about a better America. You could leave your doors unlocked, right? And then what happened? Criminals came in and everybody was like, well, I need a deadbolt, right? So they went and they all got deadbolts. Can you imagine leaving your house now to go on vacation and not setting your alarm? We skipped over what happened, right? The door was good enough. If the door was shut, people stayed out, right? And then that wasn't good enough. And now you needed deadbolts. Okay.
It's the same thing with cybersecurity. They're building the tools while we are, and we're always playing catch up.
Right. And we're always playing catch up. And if you could be on the edge of that maybe, you're one step ahead for a few years, why not? That's why I get excited about talking to Bert and Keys all the time, is because I'm like, I look at technology all the time, all day long, every day. I eat, breathe, sleep, live it. My life is even my husband gets really annoyed. He's like, you don't have hobbies. And I'm like, this is a hobby. And he's like, it's not a hobby. This is not healthy. And then I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like what they've created. And it's amazing. And I get very excited. And that's why Bert got to be here today.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to be here.
I made it.
I'm like,
I finally made it. Look at me, Dad.
I was just here to annoy you guys. I broke it.
He'll appreciate that. So.
Yeah, and that's a real good point. Is just to make it more difficult than other things, right? Because when it comes down to, well, let's make it really hard to get to. You get to the XKCD $5 wrench scenario. You can go through and make it all wonderfully cryptic, difficult, but it's a whole lot easier just to buy a $5 wrench and beat the person and get it from them, right? So
nothing past the $5 wrench test.
And if there's a person involved, they can get socially engineered. Doesn't matter. But it's still kind of the low-hanging fruit thing in that we could do better education, communication, and training against social engineering attacks, but we don't. So it makes it way easier to do it, and that's why it's all a numbers game. It's a lot of fun to be on the attacking side, but it's sad to then go back to the defender side and see all of this and be like, but this could be avoided if we would just have the conversations.
Well, that's what we did at Ethopass is, we engineered out the aspect of being able to be phished. So even if you are phished or vished out of your passphrase that's only used on that local device, unless you have the physical device, it wouldn't matter. And so that's why, it's important because you're right. Humans are the lowest common denominator in your security.
Yeah, and that's also the beauty of what you're doing, Bert, is that you're also making it simple, and keeping it simplicity for the general public is a huge part of being able to make that happen. If the security is too confusing or it takes a whole bunch of awareness just to be able to use it, right, it's not going to happen in the general public, where making something simple as well, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, mimicking, the way users get into their accounts today was the most important part. We needed to make it simple, easy for them to use, where you didn't have to have a large change management initiative go on within the business to be able to get it done and then actually secure your business. So, I 100% agree.
Well, we are over on time as always, but I wanted to give everybody room for some final. Okay, especially since Sigh is going to be running to another live stream for Innocent Lives Foundation. So I'll give you the floor and ask for closing thoughts, and then talk about the next stream coming up too, so everybody knows where to go and how to find it.
Hi, it's me. Like, you guys haven't heard enough from me today. So my closing thoughts are that I can't wait to break things. There was a question earlier if I get to break things, and yes, I want to break things. For anyone who's interested, in less than an hour, I will be doing a stream on the Innocent Lives Foundation Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Innocent Lives Foundation. It is a 4-hour live stream. We are playing a release day playthrough of the latest game from Dark Pictures Anthology. And it is a charity live stream with my new stream friend Gengar. So if anybody wants to come hang out, please do. And if you have any questions from this stream that specifically for me, yes, please come and heckle me. If you have any questions that derive from this or in general that are for me, please come to that stream and just ask me there. I will answer them while we play the game.
Sounds good. Thank you. And Will, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts to wrap us up?
I think I just put them out there. The greatest part of that bringing simplicity, trying to help bring in security in a way that everyone can use it. As professionals in technology, that is the best thing we can do. It's really our responsibility to help make it easy for everybody to use and to be secure. And that's a tough nut sometimes, but it's a noble cause.
It is. I agree. And Bert, I'm going to let you wrap up the final thoughts section here, and then we'll go into some announcements.
Okay. Well, first, thanks for having me. You can check us out at ethopass.com. Love to help any businesses that want to secure their internal employees. We can put this you can put Ethopass in front of your SSO provider, your email. Let's help secure this business. And as we like to say at Ethopass, Do your part. Authenticate responsibly.
What? I don't know. I like circle up and grab a cup, but that one's good too.
That one's good.
I do want to thank Cytissus Eurydice for joining us today. Thank you. Everybody go check out the live stream here in a little while. Donate, right? Just lots of it. Just lots of donate. We need to be reaching out to the folks at NIST, by the way, about the CSAM situation. I'm going to work that out. Yeah.
I'll talk to them. Get me in there.
We will. We'll do that. I'll just bring the whole, like they're just going to be inundated with ILF. Like,
let's go.
Thank you so much, Bert Robertson, for joining us today. I was very excited to do this talk with you. As you can tell, we all tried to run over each other several times. And the chat was very lively too. So that's always very helpful. Yeah. I really do appreciate everything that you guys are doing and the innovations that are coming out of that section. You guys, next week is going to be the 1-year anniversary of the coffee table talk. It is 1 year. It is 1 year that Will has put up with my shenanigans long
Me
enough.
Too.
Yeah.
I know.
I was one of the first guests. Don't leave me out.
Congratulations.
You definitely were. You definitely were. Yeah. You guys can go check out all of that train wreck via the YouTube channel.
The best train wreck around.
It's kind of like watch Rachel punch buttons and screw stuff up. But
doing it live.
It's
whatever.
It has been fun.
We test in production around here. Okay.
That's fine. Literally everyone does that, right? That's the norm, sadly.
Yeah, but
whole nother conversation.
Next week though, man, Rachel
I'm mad at you
and
guys.
I had a kind of a pre-meeting with these folks, and they're hilarious. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And we've got students lining up, and I've seen some of their questions. They've got some really good questions coming up. So it's going to be unlike your normal talk with these folks, because it's going to be brutally honest. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. I am so stoked.
I'm mad at you guys.
I am also super stoked. Okay, you have no idea. It was just this little thing where I was like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if I came to Tucson and actually was like hanging out in that background that's not fake? That would be cool.
Oh, guys, I could have been in the background hacking something on one of those computers while you did it.
Oh, they're nice too. The monitors are great.
I'm so mad.
So we're gonna have some pretty heavyweight cybersecurity focused, information security focused
one or two
professionals. Yeah. Bert will not be there, so we're missing out on Bert. Definitely.
You didn't invite me.
Rude.
You were moving. So
you're not invited.
You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us. You're not wearing pink on Wednesday.
Everyone can sit with us, you guys. Alyssa Valentina Knight is going to be coming. Chris Roberts, Brett Scott, Ryan Cloutier, my silly stupid butt's coming. Will, he lives there, so whatever. There.
That doesn't matter.
And then like all the the baby hackers from PIMA Community College are going to be there live and have the opportunity to address the panel. And then at the same time, there's going to be the virtual event happening where someone, not me, I'm not sure who yet, will be moderating the chat, hopefully, and posing your questions.
I keep putting my hand up to take this job, and I keep getting ignored.
No, you're not ignored. I've already, look, you have to out-qualify sigh at this point. That's your job and role in life.
Do it.
This is going to be taking place October the 29th. I think, what is it? What's the local time for Arizona time, Will? It's
going to be 1 o'clock in Arizona time, which doesn't do daylight savings time because, we're in a desert. We really don't
make sense.
Daylight.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So for everyone that follows the pack and does daylight savings time, that's going to be 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and does that make it It's 12. Is it? No, it's 1. It's 1 Pacific, right? No, I don't know. How
Map.
many time zones work? I have no
Map.
idea. Anyway, but it's 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. I know that part because, right, I've got my half of the country covered. I let Will worry about all the other stuff.
I like Adam's comment.
So, and we are doing something a little different. There's not going to be like, I mean, if you click to attend the LinkedIn event that comes up, we're not going to pop up on everywhere automatically like that. So you're going to have to sign up and like follow the link, because Alyssa Valentina Knight, if you're not familiar, go check her out on YouTube. She's got some serious production value. We had her on an episode a couple of episodes, well, probably, I don't know, it's been more than a couple, but some episodes back, and she like even showcases her setup and all of her stuff, and she has this beautiful equipment, and she's being so generous and bringing all of it. Like I was just like, hey, I just wanted you to come hang out, and she was like, yeah, but I'm gonna bring stuff. So she's bringing all of this equipment. Apparently, it's the same equipment that Marvel Studios uses to create the Avengers films. So whatever, look out! I am da 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 da. Right, like that's gonna happen.
I have a request. Can you wear a cape, please? Thanks. I'll send you one.
I usually wear some sort of a sweater or a cardigan, which I also feel like
Cape.
is a cape.
No, cape on top of that.
Oh, okay, cape on top. We'll see.
Extra warm in the desert.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So go find the Eventbrite, sign up, and you can definitely not use your real name. But use an email address that you can follow, because that's where the notifications for stuff are going to be pushed to. So that's kind of important, right? But it's going to be so exciting. I am so utterly. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm gonna get. You're gonna get. I'm gonna get all mushy right now. I just am. I am.
Well, I'm so looking forward to seeing you.
I'm still
Meeting
mad.
you in real life. That'll be fun.
Like just the opportunity to do stuff, right? Like thank you to SecureNation and John Davis for allowing me to just be like, so I started a live stream. Is that cool? And they were like, yeah, I guess. Like, what's going on? And did it and supported that, and we're cool with it. I mean, this is working hours, and they're down with it. And for all the guests, man, Will, we have talked to some amazing amazing people, and some of them are here today. And the folks in the chat, like, you guys, you're the
Today's chat was wild. It was great, and I love the spider comments. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging my spiders.
I'm just so grateful for everybody that has chatted with me or made me feel welcome. I'm gonna cry, or just, I don't know, just click the attend button and never came. I don't care. Whatever you did, you saw it and you did stuff. I really am.
Your very pretty Princess Mermaid eye makeup is going to swim away.
It's gonna be scary.
It's gonna
be so bad. You guys have a wonderful and safe weekend. We will see you next week, live from Tucson, Arizona. Thank you so much.